MLB DFS podcast with hosts Jon Impemba and James Grande.
What is going on, everybody? Jon Impemba here with James Grande. Welcome to the Better Baseball MLB DFS Playbook live stream here. We are previewing tonight's four-game main slate over on DraftKings and FanDuel. 6:40 roster lock time here this evening. 4 games, James. We had a 4-game early slate that was going well, and then it wasn't for me. Elder gave up some runs. We got some early production offensively, but really nothing else came through in that first half. So time for redemption here with the night slate 4 games.
It is redemption time for the both of us. I was in the same boat as you, and I actually stacked Pittsburgh. I just didn't play any of the right guys. Like, I didn't play Cabrian Hayes. I didn't play Paguero, so I was on the right stack for cheap. I also, and I tweeted it out, I also played Alek Manoah under my own thoughts. So, I understand my flaws, okay? Like, sure. I accept them. I recognize them. I know the flaws in my game, and that was playing Alek Manoah. I'm not making the same mistake twice tonight. I'm not playing a pitcher with this name starting with the letter A. That's where I have to stand.
That makes a lot of sense. Before we jump into tonight's slate, we'll go ahead, go to Real Time Fantasy Sports. For those of you who have not checked it out yet, rtsports.com/alarm, promo code alarm23. New users will get a 100% deposit match up to $200 on their first deposit. They have great DFS pick'em contests over there. Preseason football props are out over at RT Sports tonight. If you want to go check those out. You can also take part in the fantasy football, best ball, and fantasy football seasonal championship contest that they have over there at Real Time Fantasy Sports. So again, go check it out at rtsports.com/alarm. Promo code alarm23. New users will get that 100% deposit match up to $200. James, let's get into it. Talk a little DFS slate here tonight. DraftKings 4 games. Mark's in the chat already saying it's a mistake. Mark, I heard you talking about me up in Nick Castellanos in our seasonal league as someone who's in dead last in home runs. It's true. It's true. He was like 2 for 30 when I dropped him. It allowed me to get, Encarnacion Strand in my lineup and move Spencer Steer into the outfield. So, while I've lost, some home runs, CES has also been hitting home runs lately. So, right. kind of an even swap. But, yes, Castellanos would be cool. Good news here. We can play Castellanos tonight on the DFS slate. We'll obviously talk about all of the positions here and build some lineups as we move across. Again, it's 4 games, so a little bit of a quicker show here this evening. If you have your questions, get them in chat. We're more than happy to answer them for you as well, whether it pertain to tonight's slate. Maybe you're playing some NFL DFS. I just released the NFL DFS preseason playbook for tonight's slate. So, if you want to throw some NFL DFS questions at us tonight, go for it. We got some sleepers in the book there for tonight's 2-gamer. So it's all on the board here tonight. We can do it. If you have not yet already subscribed or liked the channel, please do that as well. Certainly will help us out here, get a little bit more notoriety and get the show boosted a bit there. So wrong buttons, hitting the wrong buttons here, James. That's all on me. Get the little, there we go. Get the little scroll down at the bottom. Give time for everybody to kind of get in here and see what we have going on. All Pro package gets you access to all of our premium DFS content, gets you in our premium Discord channels there as well. The NFL DFS season right around the corner. The playbook out for preseason is free. We got a much more extensive playbook coming out for the regular season, just like you see for the MLB playbook that comes out there. Example lineups come out for the NFL season as well. We had a millionaire winner 2 years ago, single bullet in the FanDuel Millie. Millionaire Mike took that home. So now is no better time than ever to get part of the Fantasy Alarm family. Let's do it. Let's go to Vegas. No fancy graph here today. That's on me. We're just going to have James read off our Vegas odds. Sorry, Mark, no visual for you. It's a busy day here sometimes and missed out on the graphic. So where are we looking? 4 games here in Las Vegas tonight.
I'll take it slow for you, Mark, because I know sometimes I talk a little too fast. 10.5 implied runs is your slate high there in the Kansas City Royals versus Boston Red Sox game. The is about even money on the over and the under. 9.5 implied runs in St. Louis Cardinals versus Tampa Bay Rays. The slight lean on the under there to the 9.5 implied runs. The other two games, not as fun, even though they are. Vegas doesn't think so. 9 implied runs in the Washington Nationals Philadelphia Phillies game. Patrick Corbin Day, John. Happy celebratory day to you.
True.
And 8.5 runs implied in Colorado, LA. Ty Block versus the returning Clayton Kershaw. We've yet to find out what the limit is on Clayton Kershaw, but it's Dave Roberts.
60 pitches.
Clayton Kershaw hasn't pitched in a while, and it was a fatigued shoulder. So, it's going to be hard to really expect him to go that deep into the game. John, I will say, I just saw, and it was tweeted out by the Action Network. Okay. The Dodgers, now that they're up to minus 400 tonight, that is the biggest favorite on a money line yet this season. So interesting little tidbit. Nobody has been minus 400, and it makes you wonder, one, does that mean we're going to get maybe a little more Clayton Kershaw in our lives than maybe expected? Are the Dodgers going to score 55 runs against Ty Block in the bullpen?
Possible.
I think both of those things are in play. So maybe something we bake into our analysis here, because I got to tell you, we move over to pitching. This is one of the most brutal slates, I would say, in a long time, because it's really bad. It's really bad when you get past the name James Paxton.
Jacob, just quickly, search his name on FanDuel. He'll be there. FanDuel, for guys that are coming off the IL, they actually don't show them in the player pool as like starting because they're not technically activated yet. But if you search his name, he'll be there. I actually got a very low rostered Brendan Woodruff the other day on FanDuel because I think of that reason. He wasn't showing actually in the pitcher player pool. I just searched his name. He popped up, and I was able to enter him in my roster at like 14%. So he's there. I promise you. You'll see him. So,
yeah, third highest projected pitcher on FanDuel tonight. He's there.
Yeah, which isn't saying much because 4 games. So
yeah, I'm just saying he's $10,700. He's the most expensive pitcher on FanDuel.
Yeah, well, that too. Also, I would have expected him maybe a little bit cheap here. Our guy Faisal, kind of anti-Nola today.
Oh no, we're starting. Let's dive in, John, because we're starting early. Let's dive in.
Yeah. We got a lot of questions in chat, by the way. I appreciate everybody who's tuning in here. Jason Jackson in here, Jacob Bowers, Faisal, Mark Pitts. You're all in here. To Prince in here. So happy y'all in here to go over this 4-gamer with us. But yeah, let's break it down. Pitching. Aaron Nola. There was a point this afternoon where I sent a message to James, said, you know what? I am fading Paxton and Nola. We're just going to let the world burn today, stack against them all.
Sure.
And then I started building the lineup, and you can't not really use one of them, or else it's just hard to do, because the players that you want to play when you're stacking against them play the same positions, right?
Yeah.
So it's like your stacks kind of look gross when you can't play Bobby Witt and CJ Abrams together because they're the same spot. Now on FanDuel you can. FanDuel, you slot one in utility, you play the other at shortstop. It's great. Maybe Bobby Witt's got like 9 positions on FanDuel. Who knows? Sometimes they do that with guys. On DraftKings, it's difficult, so I ended up pivoting away and ended up regretfully having Aaron Nola in my lineup that I built. I am not confident in Aaron Nola here tonight, but on a 4-game slate, with this 4-game slate, Aaron Nola could score 12 fantasy points tonight and be among the highest scoring pitchers on the slate. So like that's how I'm looking at it now. Yes, I think Washington is going to put runs on Aaron Nola here tonight, but if he gets me 13 fantasy points, that may be enough to outscore Corbin, Little, Liberatore, Block, Martian, Cox combo, right? Like, and I feel the same way about Paxton. The way Kansas City's enrolling, and the fact that Kansas City was actually coming into this last week and a half as a team that hit lefties well. Now they're hitting everybody well. Makes me pretty worried about Paxton on the mound given his last couple of starts here. So yes, I would agree it's like anti-Nola, but also he still may outscore everybody pitching poorly, just given the slate size. So worth noting.
I was shocked when I saw actually 3-minute turnaround. Like if I don't have the exact timestamp, but it was you said burn the world.
I said let the world burn.
Yeah.
I'm going against Nola and Paxton tonight, and then sent you a lineup that said F it. We have to use Nola. You're making a stand. You got to play Nola or Paxton, and I think both suck tonight. So I don't know.
This is why, like, ultimately I'm kind of interested in the Kershaw aspect of things.
Yeah.
And we saw it, I think it was last year when he returned from the IL and he had that start in Cincinnati where he was perfect through 6 innings, if you remember that. And it was his first start back. And Dave Roberts said, nope.
Yeah.
See you later. And I think, so the Rockies team total tonight in Vegas was 2.5. Kershaw is a -400 favorite.
Yeah.
And obviously this is Ty Block. We're kind of flipped because I was not really in on Kershaw.
I was always in on Kershaw.
I was more in on Nola.
Sure.
And now that's kind of flipped because I do like Washington. They got no hit last night. They're going to be like, we're not doing that again. And now they get a guy in Aaron Nola who's allowed 5 earned runs in back-to-back starts against, wait for it, not the Braves, not the Rays, but the Royals and the Pirates in each of the last 2 starts.
Let's not besmirch the Royals and the Pirates.
Royals and the Pirates had 5 runs each of my Cy Young pick in the Fantasy Learn Bold prediction section in the preseason.
Need to go lights out starting now for that.
We can't. This is why we're bold, okay? This is why we're bold.
I can't even tell you what I put in there. So
okay. So I like Kershaw here being now again, it's going to be 60, 65 pitches, assume, but like that could get him through 5 innings. That can get him a win. I'm okay getting to Nola. He's 55% rostered. So like, it's one of those situations where like, yeah, like if you go against him in a good spot and he 58% rather, and he has a really good outing, like you're probably not going to cash if he scores 30 fantasy points. But man, the leverage you can get on the field if you play, not even just play Nationals. I mean, play Nationals because it's a 4-game slate, but not playing Aaron Nola and he gets shelled again. Now in those starts, like you said, he still had 12 fantasy points in the Kansas City start because of the strikeout upside.
Yep.
But what do we know about? But like, Kansas City has been a team that struck out all year. Now they've been better since the All-Star break. But what's the one thing that we know definitively about Washington this year? They don't strike out.
Right.
Like, even though they've traded Candelario, they don't strike out. So, I don't know. I'm more where you were on the podcast this morning. I do kind of want to see the world burn. I'm kind of on the side of the Nationals.
Yeah.
So, Paxton is probably my SB1 tonight. Kershaw 2, Nola 3. Also, I'm only playing tournaments. Let me caveat that. In cash games, like I do think Nola Paxton is probably the combination you're going to go. But in tournaments, like I'm largely going to fade Aaron Nola.
Yeah. I mean, listen, again, I used Aaron Nola in the lineup I sent you. I had Kershaw in that lineup initially. I just had sort of like $900 left. And I was like, I guess I could go up to Nola because, I think because more people may be in on Kershaw, but you mentioned the ownership has him third. So,
that was FanDuel. He's second on. So him and Nola are both 55+%.
Sure.
Paxton's 47, and then the 5th highest price name on the slate is 30%.
Yeah, I mean, it's just rough, but if Kershaw goes out there, say he has a 60 pitch limit, if he pitches as well as Vegas thinks Colorado is going to be hitting poorly, 60 pitches could get him through 5, and if he has 5 shutout, 4 strikeouts, 2 hits allowed, like that's 17 fantasy points, right? Like gets the win,
Yes.
right? So, no, I agree with you. On the show this morning, I was all in on Kershaw. I haven't really wavered from that. It was just more so like Nola could go out there and get 13 fantasy points today while giving up 5 runs and still be among the top scoring pitchers of the slate. So, the other issue we run into is that you have to pay for hitters. Like no one's really cheap here either. So, figuring out like double spend up it's almost very, very difficult to do tonight because of the bats that you want to use in your lineup. So you're forced to sort of pick one and then pick a cheap guy here. And I don't know where to go. I used Little in the lineup I sent you here, but like Marsh could be that guy, right? Marsh could come in as a long reliever. We've seen him have double-digit strikeouts. We've seen the Red Sox lineup struggle. Like Marsh could come in and pitch 4 innings, give up 1 earned, strike out 4, and that be enough to be a top scoring lineup here, a top scoring pitcher tonight. Shamanaya did that. Shamanaya came in last night or 2 nights ago, I think it was last night, 4 innings, 1 earned, 6 Ks as the middle reliever. And then they put in Beck. Beck gave up the home run, I think, to Moustakas. But, like, we could see that out of Marsh. Marsh just comes in and pitches the middle. So, too much rain for Paxton.
There is rain in that game.
Yeah.
I saw, per Kevin Roth, his latest update said he was a little worried. Has it listed orange, yellow. So, there is definitely a little concern. But, like, Andrew, to be fair, like we're talking about a 4-game slate where, sure, Aaron Nola in theory is like your best option, but he has not been good. Your second price guy, Clayton Kershaw, is coming off a shoulder inflammation stint where he didn't go on rehab. He threw a bullpen. And then after Paxton, it's Corbin, Little, who doesn't strike guys out. Alec Marsh is a long reliever. It's not like there's like, it's not like there's an influx of options. So, like, we're taking shots somewhere. If that game is projected to playing James Paxton is as much of a risk as pretty much anyone else on this slate.
Yeah, I mean, Roth updated it. I don't know if you saw the update take on it. He's got it orange, yellow. He says it's going to rain. They could play through it. He says it really depends on what it looks like, around first pitch, what they decide to do. The heavier of the rain is going to miss the stadium cell. So when does Kansas City come back around here? That's the other thing you have to look at. Like, is there a viable makeup date for these two teams? Also, we've seen them sit through rainouts and finish games at like 2 a.m. Yeah. It's not an impossible thing to happen here. So, I mean, something to watch. I'm just pulling up again. I live 15 minutes away from the stadium. So, just kind of pulling up some of the current radar models here on weather.com, seeing where maybe they project that rain to come. It's all coming up south. So, they could certainly wait this one out. That's just kind of where I think it's at. As of like 9:30 on weather.com, like the radar doesn't show any rain in the area. So 2-hour delay, they wait it out, rain moves on, and maybe they're good to go. So who's to say the way it comes here. So
right. And again, like, is a 2-hour delay any less risky than using Kershaw, who might not throw 60 pitches, or Aaron Nola, who's given up 10 earned runs to the Pirates and the Royals in the last 2 starts? Like, there's risk everywhere. There's Patrick Corbin, who's been getting shelled. He's allowed 17 road home runs. Matthew Liberatore has to face, a Tampa Bay offense that's coming back to life. They clearly have been better against left-handed pitching all year, and Liberatore can't get anyone out. Ty Block is the biggest underdog in baseball this year. Zach Little doesn't miss bats. So, like, yeah, there's like a lot of risk. I think the Prince's question, who can I play in FanDuel? I think Paxton at 9,700, Nola, because you just picked one of those two guys. I don't think Kershaw at 10-7 really makes a lot of sense on a one pitcher site. You can go there, but I think it's between Paxton and Nola, DePrince, and Nola's getting 2x his ownership. So if you want to play that game, then it's Paxton.
We got the live weather report rolling on here, James. This is the projected radar models.
Go.
Projected radar models here for Boston. So
we get some weather music.
Like I said, around like 8:30, it looks like it kind of clears out. We got another storm system coming over here around like 11. So they might be able to get that in. We don't know. So
also just keep updates, and we'll continue to update when we know more about what's going on in the in the Boston area, like per actual.
Yeah, I mean the team will tweet out, "Hey, this game is delayed to start,"
right.
And then we just kind of figure out where we're going from there. So, because like I said, like after that grouping, I made a lineup with Little. I mean, Marsh hasn't been very good, obviously, but like the Red Sox have not been very good either. So, if Marsh comes in and they only ask him to throw 4 innings and he kind of gives you, maybe a little bit better than this, I don't know. Like there's not a lot of guys here that'll like give you, we'll build a couple of lineups because we have time, right? I'll show you what it's like to build a double spend up lineup offensively. It's not great. There's really not a lot to do. So,
well, especially when Philadelphia is expensive, Los Angeles is expensive, and Tampa Bay is expensive.
I mean, if you're not playing Paxton, then you play like KC, Tampa, right? That's your value tonight. It's KC, Tampa. So, but you're not playing like.
Boston is pretty cheap. Like their lineup is pretty cheap. Like only Devers and Story above 4,400. Sure. So like
Ref Snyder, right, in that crew probably.
Yeah, they would. Yeah, Ref Snyder's not playing tonight
again. So is Cox?
Well, it's because Cox is an opener. Yeah, but he hasn't pitched more than an inning and a third in like 7 straight. 7 straight innings.
Right. So yeah, that's my take on pitching. I think Kershaw is where I would rather go. I think Nola could still be one of the top pitchers here with 12 to 15 fantasy points. If that, because they win, say they win, but he gets runs allowed, but gets the win points, he kind of makes up, the W erases 2 earned. So you just kind of take it away from there. It's kind of the way we're going. Any other pitchers you want to just mention before we move on, or?
No, I mean, your logic behind Marsh was fine. I'm looking up, like, the Red Sox have been middling against right-handed pitching since the beginning of August. And again, a small sample, 230 plate appearance sample, 724 team OPS. That's 14th in the league. So like league average. And the Little thing, I don't mind Little, but the problem with him is the strikeout equity is just not there. I mean, we've seen 5 strikeouts across his last 11 innings in 2 starts. Now, he looked okay in those starts and he got wins. And I think that has to kind of to your point about like Nola getting a win tonight. Like Zach Little's a minus 200 favorite on the money line tonight. Tampa Bay is a big favorite. If he gets another win, we're looking at likely a 3rd straight double figure outing, 5th straight if you want to round up in that Baltimore 9.9 fantasy points, right? So I would say the field is getting it pretty correct. He's 30% projected on DraftKings. I think it just makes the most sense. If you want to be super contrarian in a 20 max, play Corbin in 2 lineups. Play Liberatore in 2 lineups. But other than like that specific format, I'm not touching really anyone else.
I agree with you. Just like pointing out the Marsh play. This is the 4th game the Red Sox played against the Royals in this series here. Cole Reagans went 6 innings with 11 strikeouts. We saw Brady Singer pretty much shut them down the night after that. And then last night, Jordan Lyles, of all people, went 8 innings, allowed only 4 runs with 6 Ks. So, like, the Red Sox offense is not getting it done right now. Marsh could just give you that Manaea outing, 4, 1, and 6. Pitch the middle innings. If KC wins tonight, they'll probably credit Marsh with the win in relief, and then you kind of go. So Marsh and Little are my 2 value starting pitchers. Again, I think that's probably where I'd round up. And then Kershaw and Nola. I think I'm off Paxton tonight. I don't know. Just not.
Ooh, you really talked yourself out of it.
Not feeling it. Not feeling it. Catcher. A lot of options here at the top. I plugged Furman in my line because I'm not in on Paxton. But we mentioned Betancourt last night on the show as well, this morning on the show as well. Hitting ninth tonight. He's got Liberatore here.
Yeah. I mean, again, he also has like the luxury of now being the guy with Francisco Mejia on the IL. So I like Betancourt. He's been good. Decent 214 ISO against left-handed pitching, so it's been really one of those like all or nothing type situations. But the Rays have been kind of that way against left-handed pitching in general as a team. So yeah, I mean, I think both KC catchers are in play. If you want to spend all the way up to Will Smith or JT Realmuto, both guys are firmly in play as well. I think Realmuto, although he's been struggling, could be in a pretty good spot with Trey Turner hitting in front of him and how good Trey Turner's been. And it's something I sent to you. Patrick Corbin's allowed the third most stolen bases. So if Turner has 3 hits in front of Realmuto and steals multiple bags, like multiple run producing options for Realmuto tonight. So I think catcher's pretty good. Smith, Realmuto up top, either Kansas City catcher and Betancourt for really cheap.
Sure.
I guess the only other I guess if you're not playing Aaron Nola, would you play Kybert?
Yeah. I would.
Because he's definitely
Again, I'm not a fan of Nola tonight. So I'm perfectly okay going with Kybert Ruiz here.
But just by default, he would probably he's hitting 4th. So if you're not playing Nola, if he's been better against righties lately too. I know he struggled. His numbers on the year struggle, but 179 ISO, 336 WOBA over his last 30 days against right-handed pitching.
Perfectly fine with me here for sure. Moving on over to first base again. This is where if you want to look to spend up, you have options. Freeman obviously here. Yandy Diaz is at 5K, guys. If you like, I immediately went and plugged in Alec Boehm at $4,400 as the first baseman of my choice.
Yeah, so I think that's a great play. Fortunately for us, if we wanted to play Boehm at third, we can. When I was looking for some props for the Better Sports Betting Show earlier, John, Yandy Diaz was at 2.5 hits, runs, and RBIs. That's always something that stands out to me. It's like seeing pitchers with 3.5 earned runs, right? You're usually the baseline is 1.5 for hits, runs, RBIs. Usually the baseline for earned runs is 2.5. Yandy Diaz has been amazing against left-handed pitching this year. I think the Rays outside of the Dodgers are my favorite stack. Yandy Diaz 247 ISO on the year against left-handed pitching. That's second on the team. 450 WOBA also 415 WOBA also second on the team. And he's leading off. He get 5K, yes, but the power's seemingly coming back again. We just saw a home run the other day. We've seen 2, 3, and 4 hit games over his last 3. He's kind of been raking again. So I love Yandy Diaz if not going to Boehm.
Sure.
And, look, I'm just going to say Freddie Freeman's name because we're not moving down the list past Freddie Freeman without mentioning him.
Yeah.
He's hitting 500 over his life. And it feels like he's again, it's getting better every day. Every day I expect it to say start with 3 and it's only going up. So I will not allow you to continue this show without mentioning Freddie Freeman.
I said him at the top. I said you could spend that for Freddie. I didn't break him down like you just did, but that's fine. You can go Dom Smith here too. Again, I am not a Nola guy tonight, so he's $2,300. So as cheap as you can get as a starting guy, and he's been okay, right? 276 batting average of late. I mean, not a lot of power here, but that's just kind of the Nats in a nutshell as well. Second base. I mean, Mookie Betts has a 400 OPS against lefties. ISO, rather. 400 ISO against lefties. Yeah. So, if you can find a way to get Mookie Betts in your lineup tonight as your lone spend up, that would be my guy. He would be my number 1 6K play of the evening.
Yeah, I can't really. You're actually shorting him a little bit. It's 406 ISO.
Oh, sorry.
So put some respect on Mookie Betts' name, huh?
He's really good.
Yeah,
he's a very good player. So if you're not going Mookie Betts though, because you can't afford him because it's hard to do. Massey was my next guy, $2,800. Just again, we keep touting him. He keeps coming through for us. So I know these not all of these numbers pop, but I mean he's less than 3K. So when you do get the home run game or a double and a run or something like that, he's paying it off in spades. So big on Massey. How about this?
Dude, I was gonna say I cannot believe you didn't lead. Like, I cannot believe that this was not your lead at second base.
This is certainly a mistake, but he is leading off tonight. Out of absolute necessity, last night I did play Pablo Reyes after basically making fun of James for even suggesting him, but he was so cheap last night, and I had the exact dollar amount to make it work that I just threw him in, and then he rewarded me with 3 hits. Now he's leading off. So,
you want to know what his ownership is?
40%.
Yep, 38% roster.
Why wouldn't it? Why wouldn't it be? Why wouldn't it be after another back to 3 hits in 2 last 3 games? So.
I know, but like, Boston is so highly rostered tonight; it's insane.
I mean, I'm playing 3 lineups. I'll have a lineup that doesn't have Boston. Hopefully, it gets rained out, and then we win. Massey or Kiki on FanDuel.
I'm gonna go Kike because we have the better split. Massey's been kind of bad against left-handed pitching this year, and by kind of bad, I mean he's been. Pretty bad,
he's a lefty, so I mean, it's.
No, I know. I'm just saying, I would just default to the infinitely better matchup. Yeah. Not that Kike's been great against lefties, but he has been just better as a Dodger.
Sure. Obviously, if you're not playing little, like Nolan Gorman plays, you can certainly go there if you're not looking to go that. Little also, on a small slate, we've said this before, it's okay to use a hitter versus a pitcher, right? Like, obviously, you want the points. Yep. Probably easier to do on FanDuel where you don't get knocked for the hit allowed. So, better play on FanDuel to play a hitter versus a pitcher than on DraftKings where you do lose points for the hit allowed. But, I don't mind Nolan Gorman hitting third here this evening. So, that's not terrible. Over at third base here this evening, again, you mentioned Alec Boehm can play third, but Isaac Paredes is where I went with my lineup this evening. Just kind of plugged in. 1,000 OPS, 647 slug the last 10 games. Sure, only hit 235, but 4 homers will make up for that, and he's the right split side here against Liberatore.
Yeah, man, Liberatore is just not the guy that I thought he would be, and really I think people around baseball thought he'd be. Righties 210 ISO, 413 WOBA against him, 50% hard contact rate against him. He doesn't miss bats, 12% strikeout rate against righties. That's really what we have to worry about Tampa's lineup, right? Like, righty, they strike out a lot, and Liberatore is not going to miss bats. So if Paredes is not being struck out, it's going to be a hard time shutting him down. So, yeah, he's been good against lefties for the better half of 2 seasons. If you combine last year and this year, 232 ISO, that's second on the team, 349 WOBA.
Yeah, I agree with you 100% here. Moving on down again, I do like Garcia against lefties. Paxton especially leading off here. That one will play for me if you want to go at 38. I could get to Luis Urias if you wanted to as well in that spot. Any interest here in Curtis Mead?
Yeah, I mean, he's fine.
I mean, it's obviously like small sample size at the major league level, but a guy that was hitting well at the AAA level. So
I think if there was a punt third baseman, it's Weston Wilson, 2K.
Okay.
I would probably play him over Mead. Mead wasn't really great in the minors. Wilson had 25 home runs at AAA before his call up, and he homered in his first career at bat yesterday and then stole a base later in the game. So Weston Wilson, he's hitting 8th. He's 2K. He's also shortstop eligible, so if we couldn't play him at third, I would go there as a punt over Mead. But, yeah, I mean, if you're stacking Rays, he's one of their top
Mead was actually super hot when he got called up. 355 over his last 100 plate appearances. So Again, just slow to start, but just throwing more names out there for you. But you're not wrong there with the Wilson call either, with just the pure power that this guy has. I love the story when they talked. He talked to Marsh and it was a Castellanos, I think it was. He's like, I feel like I'm going to homer, and they're like, I think you're going to homer too, and then he homers. So, good on him. Shortstop, Wander. I would have liked to have been playing a lot more Wander this year than I have, but now he's super hot.
He's back.
Super hot.
He's back.
So.
Yeah, he's super back.
We loved him against lefties. The power side for him is against left-handed pitching. So, 5,900 if you can get there for sure. A few guys are more hot than Bobby Witt right now. So again, 5,800 if you can get there, definitely make it happen. Trey Turner starting to turn around. He's got Patrick Corbin at 51. So the obvious top three spend ups here at shortstop are there, and then CJ Abrams keeps doing good things as well at 43. So I don't think you need to play anybody cheaper at shortstop. Just target those four.
Yeah, this is one of like the better positions on the slate, if not the best position on the slate. Because the top three guys plus Abrams, and there's value. Like if you wanted to play Reyes at short, or if you wanted to play Wilson at short, you could do either of those things too. So this is a very deep position. If you had to, John, though, rank the top three. Priced? How they're priced?
No, I think I'd put Witt over Franco.
Okay. I would actually put Witt last, but that's also because I'm playing Paxton. So.
Sure. I'm not playing
That's
Paxton, so therefore Witt is first. So.
Yeah, you get the side of that. So there is your
probably not shocked to hear that analysis, So
yeah, I mean, I was gonna say however you like whoever's listening out there is, whatever side of the fence you fall on Paxton is probably how you'd rank that shortstop position. Because I actually like Trey Turner quite a bit here, especially with the stolen base upside against Corbin. He has hits in like 7 straight games as well. So,
you mentioned this morning, or maybe it's just to me then, Patrick Corbin third most stolen bases allowed, even though he's from the left side. I'm telling you, that 2 pickoff thing is the reason we're seeing all these spikes. Because even now lefties, they can't throw over anymore. After they throw over twice, they're done. So they just easy to run on them. So listen, I'm obviously a little biased about Bobby Witt. He's on my roto team. He's been great. I don't think Paxton's all that good. So I'm in on Bobby Witt attacking the monster here this evening. But I mean, hard to argue with the Wanderers production. Turner's third for me. So Turner ranks second for you behind Wander?
Yeah, I would put Turner second. I am playing a lot of. I'm playing Philly tonight, so.
Okay. We got an official opening night for the NBA season. You want to hear it? October 24th. Get ready.
October 24th. Let's
get ready. Okay, guys, if you're an NBA DFS fan, you get to see our 2 faces for the entire NBA season as well. Yay. We do all the NBA DFS coverage also over at Fantasy.
Yes, sir.
Stay with us if you like some basketball DFS content. Anyways, if we're not playing the top 4, is there a value shortstop other than obviously we mentioned Wilson, we mentioned Reyes, like anybody that we haven't discussed that you'd be playing? Ahmad Rosario maybe at $4,100 against Ty Block.
No, I don't think.
Miguel
the
Rojas.
Rosario thing's interesting.
Against the former lefty masher.
It's only interesting because like there's clear spend ups that everyone's gonna get to, or there's clear value, and everyone's probably gonna forget about Rosario. And
where did he hit when Martinez came back? Do we know? We probably know.
No,
he was hitting. He was hitting fourth against lefties for like the first couple of games that he was back with the squad. So
Rosario is 11% rostered, so people are in fact not playing.
Little leverage play there in a 4-gamer. That's how you win these GPPs here tonight. Is you find where the chalk is going and then just go the other way and pray tonight's your night. Right? Like, see if you can get there. All right, outfielders here. Speaking of a guy that needs a pray tonight, Randy Arozarena has been gone off. Gone off. Like, very, very bad. He's not been good. You're paying over $5,000 for a guy that's giving you single-digit fantasy points for 5 straight games. So, can we get a homer? If we can get a homer, perfect. It's the right spot for me. What's hitting lefties really well? earlier this year. So it's just like, are you spending the money on a Rosarena or Wander Franco tonight? You're probably doing it on Wander Franco if you're stacking the stacking the race.
Yeah, if I'm playing, I'm
Or
really.
even Yandy,
If I'm
right?
playing,
Yandy's 5K.
it's Yandy. I'm really Randy Arosa praying that he comes out of this slump.
I didn't hear what you
He-
said. I was laughing at Mark mentioning Teletovic there from the Nets way back in the day. So.
Yeah. Shout out. Yeah. I was Randy Arosa praying that he breaks out of this slump.
I'm still not getting it. So we're just gonna move to Nick
Yeah, it's okay.
Castellanos here
It's
against Corbin.
okay. Yeah, I wish I had Nick
look at all these
Castellanos
home
on my
runs this
fantasy
guy's hitting.
baseball
Like
team.
just impeccable run of production for John dropped him about right here in our Roto League. And since then he's hit 5 home runs. So let it ride. Let it ride against Corbin tonight. We're all in on some Castellanos. I mentioned Newbar this morning. I'm good here. Again, I know if you're not in on Little, I mean 4,500. He's on fire. He's leading off. So certainly in. Lane Thomas is fine. My problem with Washington here tonight is one that John Candelario is not on the team anymore. So that kind of like takes away like a core guy that I usually build my lineups around. The rest of the guys in that lineup are generally really good against lefties. So like Stone Garrett, Alex Call, like guys that I would play are good against lefties, not necessarily righties, but Lane Thomas is everybody. So if you wanted a 2-man or 3-man Kybert, Abrams, Lane against Nola, I guess that would be maybe where I'd go, or Dom Smith or something like that. But nothing crazy special there. Where are you going after this group? Siri?
Yep, absolutely. Do we get a bat flip tonight? We'll find out. We'll find out. But he did double dong last night, and he has 23 home runs on the year. Just like, again, it's all or nothing. He has a 300 ISO against left-handed pitching. He has a less than 300 WOBA. So, his ISO is higher than his WOBA against left-handed pitching. That tells you all you need to know. It's going to be a home run, or he's going to struggle. But Matthew Liberatore has been terrible against right-handed bats. So I like Jose Siri. Interesting to see Tyler O'Neill back in the lineup. I know he's been dealing with some knee tightness.
He scratched like back-to-back games or something, wasn't he?
And he's been really, really good of late. And that offer put him back to a 289, but he had been hitting like 400 before that offer heading into that game. So I would get there. Harold Ramirez is a guy we talked about on the podcast last night. He's crushing left-handed pitching, crushing all pitching lately. 400 average his last 10 games. There's a guy who hit 320 last year, just like out of the blue.
Just like no power.
No
right?
power.
That's like
no power.
Problem.
But he does. So
he gets on base. He's Billy Bean's favorite guy.
He would have definitely been on that race on the A's team with Billy Bean. He would have been the Scott Hatteberg of the team. 214 ISO against left-handed pitching this year is not bad. All the power against lefties.
A lot of doubles,
Dude, 440 WOBA leads the team against left-handed pitching. So, pretty good. Can play Melendez against lefties. He's been mashing baseballs, like 4 home runs in his last 4 games. The Dodgers are a little interesting. We've already talked about Kike, but he's third base outfield eligible on DraftKings. Same thing with Chris Taylor. They need to figure that out, that both are third base outfield eligible. But both guys hit lefties relatively well. So there's kind of a lot of value to like, especially because, again, we need value. Like, we're about to build lineups, and it's going to be murky unless we're playing Zach Little. So, and no, we're not playing Rutherford. He's 0 for 14.
Yeah, but he was hitting really well at AAA. So
looks like he hasn't slept in weeks. And people who haven't slept.
Price 2K against Aaron Nola.
No, I know. No. Look, he actually isn't terrible. He had been really good.
He's average.
He had been good at AAA. I mean,
that's what I said. Yeah.
So
maybe he can be like Mike Tauchman, just like out of nowhere, just revives his career.
I mean, I'm sure if he became Mike Tauchman, he'd be very happy because Mike Tauchman leading off for a team that making a playoff push here.
I would agree with you. Alrighty. Let's get to the fun part of this. Give me your home run call of the evening.
Same home run call as I went on the Better Sports Betting Show, plus 475, going Jose Siri.
Jose Siri. I will keep the Castellanos train running here against Corbin. I say he goes Yabo here this evening.
That's
for myself. Give me your top stack for tonight.
This is tough because I want like 3 different teams.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go Tampa.
Okay.
As my top stack, but like, would you qualify them? No, I'll stick with Tampa as my top stack.
Okay. I think I'm gonna go with
The Dodgers.
Yeah.
Philadelphia.
Yeah.
Dude, like between the Rays, the Dodgers, and Philly, that's where I want like my exposures. And obviously the Red Sox are gonna be the highest owned. They're probably the best value because they have Pablo Reyes leading off at 2,800 and everyone's under 5K and like, but they're also the most chalky. So like, it's I don't know. Well, who's your top stack? You're still figuring it out. I was trying to stall for you.
Philly.
That's a good one. It's like neither of us picked the Dodgers, and we're gonna be so mad at not picking the team.
I'm gonna build with some Dodgers exposure, but Philly is gonna be like my core build around.
Yeah.
So, what's your value stack? Contrarian value, however you want to go.
Tampa. No, I mean like.
Yeah, that's fine. You can go both.
I'll just stick with Tampa because I'm not playing Kansas City, and I think that's where you're gonna go. I would say Washington. You know what? I'll just say Washington because I was so against Aaron Nola earlier in the show. So I'll just say Washington.
I am playing Kansas City. Yeah,
Kansas
City is where I'm going there. What am I missing? Value played the day.
I'm gonna go with he's 2K, and you
taking Wilson?
Well, it makes lineups a lot.
All right, fine, go for it.
Well, like you could just go with Pablo Reyes. I figured you'd want to go with your boy.
I thought you were gonna go with your home run call.
Nah, I mean I could go with my home run call. He's cheap, but like he's not 2K. Look, what are we doing at pitching? Like if we're double spending, it's Weston. Because he's too, Wilson.
You're right. You take Wilson. I'll take Siri. Call it a day. Let's go build.
Yeah, let's go build.
Let's go have some fun.
Are we playing 2 spend ups?
I mean, we can
see. Like this is where we're. This is. I don't want to build anymore. I'm revolting.
Why?
Because I don't want to play Aaron Nola.
I don't want to play Aaron Nola, but we don't have a choice.
That's true. All right, let's build with Weston Wilson at third. Yeah, there we go.
Well, do you want Weston Wilson at third or Paredes at third and boom?
True. Shoot.
I mean, we could just do this. It's fine. It works.
Well, we could also play Weston Wilson at shortstop because our spend up was going to be.
Is that what his other position is? Okay, yeah, there you go.
We're also going to probably play Mookie Betts as our spend up, right? If you wanted to get to anybody, it's Mookie.
Yeah, probably. Let's see. Siri. Spelling guys' names incorrectly here.
Siri.
Siri, Paredes. Still spelling guys' names wrong. Paredes. I want to use Furman. 2,600.
So we could play. So Josh Rojas is a little interesting, hitting a bottom the Philly lineup. He has some stolen base upside. He also has, John, if you go to DK Sportsbook, he had, and I was looking at, because I sent you the Corbin stolen base thing. Yeah. He has some of the best odds on the board to steal a base tonight. He's 2,300. He's hitting 9th. He stole a base 3 games ago. He has 5 stolen bases in 20 games. He's hitting 300. If we wanted to play, if $2,300, but we don't have to. Just throwing that out there. That
how's this look?
Alec Burleson. McGuire. Yeah, I'm okay with that.
All right. I mean,
I'm okay with that.
By the time McGuire gets up, Cox will be out of the game, right? Marsh will be in.
Yeah, I mean, again, Cox has not thrown more than an inning in a third in 7 straight outings. So to think he's going to go deep kind of is, I feel like, wrong.
Right.
Because,
Well, that's what I'm saying, right? So it's not really impacting too much here. And it gives us our top spend up for Mookie Betts, right, against Block. Gives us our Tampa Bay stack, 4, 5, 6 hitters in that lineup. Yep. We got Philly here, obviously Bohm, but then you got Wilson. And we got a one-off comeback, Burleson, who's been hitting the ball pretty well, right? And we don't think much of little. So that's a double spend lineup. I think it's a viable option. I know you don't want Nola. You liked Paxton. So, I mean, gives you 14 extra $100. You can figure out where you want to go, whether it be catcher, if you want to move off Burleson, gives you a 4K guy. You can go Tyler O'Neill.
Do you want to just build a secondary with Little as our SP2?
Sure.
Just because he is pretty popular, like just to show what that lineup would look like, because we're going to be able to. Yeah, I mean, we're going to.
Wilson.
Yeah, I mean, we could. I mean, or I think this feels pretty good. Like, if you're playing Little, that's probably your best route to get Dodgers. So, like, a Will Smith potentially, or a Rosario at short, or Kike in the outfield. Honestly, the Dodgers are kind of less expensive if you're playing their outfielders too, like, because JD's not expected to be back until Saturday.
Will Smith is expensive still.
Yeah, he's 55. Play Paxton over Kershaw.
I'd rather eat shoes.
Listen, you're playing Aaron Nola, and you're talking about not playing James Paxton?
All right, fine. There you go. There you go. There's your Paxton Little with your Smith, Betts, Kike. You still got little Castellanos, Wilson. We got a one-off with Bohm. We got a one-off Paredes. So there's your Dodgers exposure.
Love it. I mean, there's something to be said about a team that has 5.7 implied runs, is minus 400. It's the biggest favorite on the board, you know? You're
not wrong. You're definitely not wrong. Definitely not wrong. Can we get Marsh in here and then go back up to Kershaw?
Anything to get you off James Paxton tonight.
I'm just saying. I don't like Paxton, man. I don't know, man. I don't know what to tell you. It's not my guy tonight. Just not my guy.
He didn't do anything to you.
I just don't think he's gonna pitch very well. I don't think he pitched well the last couple starts.
No,
Kansas City's hot. So the weather also could be in play, as our guy said earlier in the chat here, Andrew. You know, if that game starts and then stops and then Paxton comes out, you know.
Look, there is a fundamental flaws on every starting pitcher tonight. There's fundamental flaws. I mean, yeah, except the fact that he's going to throw 55 pitches tonight.
Yeah, but 55 pitches could get him into the fifth.
Sure.
So anything's possible. Any other questions for all of you guys here? You can find us in the Discord. If you're not yet a member of the Fantasy Alarm family, to get access to that premium Discord, go to fantasyalarm.com/allpro. Go ahead and sign up. Gets a 7-day free trial. Gets you access to our fantasy football draft guide, which is live, and gets you access to all of our premium content on site. James and I will be back tomorrow breaking down a 13-game main slate. Hallelujah. More players picked from, larger player pool to build around. We'll be back then. We'll be live at 5 p.m. Eastern, podcast in the morning.